There are just so many upcoming gacha games that look amazing that I want to try. We've got Azir Prumelia, Neverness to Everness, Ananta, Wang Yue, Silver Palace, Persona 5 The Phantom X, Duet Knight Abyss, Arcanite's Enfield, Star Savior, and just so many more that I probably forgot. Now the thing about all these upcoming releases is that they look really nice. And when I mean really nice, I mean they look millions and millions of dollars nice. So that begs the question, why are there just so many big title gacha games that are coming out recently? Other than the fact that they probably just saw Genshin and were like, hey, we should make a game just like that so that we can make just as much money. I think that there is actually another reason why there are so many of these games that are coming out recently. So right now, I think that gacha games actually belong on some kind of a spectrum. On one side of the spectrum, we've got all these older gen, low budget feeling games. These games tend to be kind of like some sort of menu navigation simulator where you spend so much time trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Not only that, but these games tend to take a lot less time and effort to develop new content, and these games tend to be more AFK-ish in nature for their gameplay loop. Overall, if there's one way I could describe these games, it would be that they feel very, very much like a mobile game. On the other side of the spectrum, however, we've got the new gen, super high budget, expensive games. Now these games, you don't have to spend 1,000 years looking through menus. You only spend 10 years instead. And not only that, but content really does seem like it would take a lot more time to develop. There seems to be a lot more focus on making really nice level design, a lot more effort into character modeling, a lot of animations that they have to put into the game, and a lot more that just requires much more time and money to develop. Not only that, but these games tend to require a lot more of the player, even if the games still are pretty easy. And overall, I would say that these games feel nowhere near as much like a mobile game as these other games do. Now, of course, most of these games fall somewhere in the middle. They take aspects from the low effort side and the high effort side. That being said, however, a vast majority of the gacha games that have come out in the past few years lean towards the low budget side. We really only have a few high quality gacha games, those being the big Hoyoverse titles plus Wuthering Waves. So keeping all of that in mind, the lower effort gacha games that take less time to develop but attract the smaller audience, there's a huge overabundance of them, while on the other hand, the high effort gacha games that take more time to develop but attract a way larger audience, there's only like 3 or 4 of them. So if you are a company looking to develop a gacha game, you would probably choose to develop a gacha game that is a lot more higher quality just because it has a lot more potential to make money, and there actually isn't that much competition for these games yet. But the key word in that sentence was yet. There is no competition for a high quality gacha yet. It just so happened to be that all these companies wanted to release a high budget AAA gacha game around the exact same time. And because of that, all these games are going to be set out to release within the next year or so. The thing is that all of these games that are coming out are going to be competing over the same player base. And honestly guys, to me, this is actually a little bit concerning. Now don't get me wrong, competition is great for gacha games. I mean, just look at what happens to games that don't have any competition against them. The game just ends up being shit because they become lazy and they don't ever improve their game. But what I find concerning about all of this is that all of these games seem to have huge budgets behind them. And because they have huge budgets behind them, I have a sneaking suspicion that failure is just not an option for these games. And this is where my gacha battle royale comparison comes in. Think of all the unreleased gacha games as being people still in the battle bus waiting to drop. A lot of these gacha games are now forced to make a very hard decision. Do they drop early so that they get a head start against the competition at the risk of being a lower quality game, or do they wait so that their game is the best that it can be at the risk of being too slow? Normally, the decision for the players would be to just wait so that the game is the best that it can be at release. But the thing is, guys, is since there are so many upcoming games on the horizon, a lot of these developers will feel incentivized to release their game as fast as they can, so that they can win over customers before their competitors have a chance to, since these games have a lot of sunk costs in them. And if these games release prematurely, they might release the game at a poor state. The game might be unoptimized and run terribly, it might lack meaningful content on release, the graphics might not look good enough, or it might have game-breaking bugs on release. The game might be like Wuthering Waves, where the game is released and it is so unoptimized that players are just really unhappy. But unlike Wuthering Waves, because there are so many competitors coming out, players might not stick around enough to give the game a chance. I mean, guys, we already have an example of a game that has come out recently and fumbled its release. And just look at where it is now. And guys, it would be such a shame if any of these games came out with a lackluster release and don't get the chance to shine. And at the end of the day, I just want to play some good games. See you guys next time.